liberty and justice for all.
I ask now for a moment of silence for our lost council member. Okay, we'll move to roll call here.
Here.
Alderman Kathy Beck. Here. Alderman Jerry Tweedy.
Here.
Everybody had a chance to look at the agenda. Is there any additions or corrections that need to be made to this agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Okay, move on to approval of last month's minutes, or last meeting's minutes. Any questions? Concerns about those?
Make a motion to approve the February 6th minutes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. We'll move on to approval of the bills. What we have is, we have 2 meetings worth of deposits and accounts and transmittals, deposits in the amount of. This is for 2/5 of 24 in the amount of $339,839.99. Accounts payable in the amount of $117,328.67. Transmittals in the amount of $9,882.84. And payroll in the amount of $37,612.34. This is for the meeting we're having tonight, March 5th, deposits in the amount of $109,883. Accounts payable in the amount of $56,852.19. Transmittals in the amount of $17,213.93. And payroll in the amount of $37,339.53. Is there any questions on these transactions and approval of the bills? With none being said, do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the financial report?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to correspondence.
From the Wyoming Association of Municipalities, we are requesting your commitment, no, my Kevin. We are requesting that your municipality's governing body appoint its official voting delegate and alternate to the WAM's Summer Convention Business Meeting held Thursday, June 6th, 2024 in Pinedale. Items that your voting delegate will be voting on may include bylaw changes, resolutions, membership dues. Any individual member of the association is entitled to speak during the June business meeting. However, when a vote is taken on any action, the official voting delegate or the alternate is the only one allowed to vote for the city or town. Any elected or appointed official staff may be designated by the city town as its official voting delegate. Please complete the attached form by Friday, May 24th.
First of all, do we have any volunteers? Do you volunteer?
Sure.
Okay, I'll volunteer too, but,
Okay, that can be
No.
my backup.
okay. Do I have a motion to go ahead and appoint Kathy as a voting member of, the Wyoming Association of Municipalities for the summer convention?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. That's it? Okay. We'll move on to items from the public. We have Union Wireless Broadband. We have Brian Woody and Teresa Barnes and David Sidey? Sorry. Okay.
Well, it's just me. We're doing our updates and want to let everybody know where we're at for Saratoga this year. Handed out the packets, which is pretty simple because it's really just one page of information that's worthwhile. You know, if you look at the map, the areas in green are completed. The areas in blue, are what we're planning on working on this year. We're being pretty conservative with our planning, make sure we can get it done. If we've got more time, we'll try to take more area out. Just really depends on what our construction season looks like and everything else that might hit our plate, this year. And the areas in yellow there, if we don't get to those, we will be, putting up fixed wireless close to 5G speeds. So, you know, at a minimum, at least the people in the yellow there should be able to get 100 meg down, 20 meg up pretty easily. My hope is that we can see higher speeds than that for those areas. And then those would be pushed into 2025 at this point. If we do have time and we can get to them and not leave them half done, we'll try to get them in 24. So that's kind of where we're at, and any questions if you had them.
You expect price increase once this is all done?
No,
No?
no. What we're charging across our entire network.
Okay.
So, while I would love to get some of the grant dollars that are coming down, even the areas that have any color to them today, we probably wouldn't get any grant money from. We tried for the CPF last year and we missed out. We couldn't get the point scores up high enough to snag any of those dollars, and so they went elsewhere. I don't anticipate that we'll be able to do that with the BEAD funding that's coming down for the state or for Reconnect 5 through the USDA. So looks like it's all on us, and we're happy to do it. It just allow us to move a little faster if we were getting money out of the Fed to help
Mhm.
with that. So that's kind of where we're stuck. So
Any additional question?
Don't think so.
When do you think you might start?
well, as soon as
Weather?
the ground thaws and we can start putting duct in the ground, and that's kind of the limiting factor because we don't want to really go digging. I mean, we'd love to just go and dig it, but at the end of the day, a lot of this is, you know, especially in to cover the residents and businesses, chances of getting even more water and sewer, things like that, it just becomes a mess and actually ends up costing us way more than what I would get.
We appreciate that. So really do. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much for coming and giving us an
Thank
update. Greatly appreciated.
We'll be back, when are we gonna be back?
Towards the beginning of summer, because we'll have a better idea of when we're actually gonna start.
Yeah, so when we get firmer construction dates, we'll come back and let everybody know, and
Great.
then we'll start seeing more union trucks than normal and more construction equipment.
Great.
We'll try to be in more contact. We start to move the project forward, so you have progress updates.
Great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
It's appreciated.
Is this map on your website so folks will know,
It is nice.
right? So is there some way for us to just notify town what areas you're gonna be working in primarily? When it gets closer to summer?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, today on our website is just current locations, but they're not future locations.
Okay.
So,
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
That'll be nice. Everybody will get it. Items, council comments, I just got one comment. I just brought before and gave each council member one, but, I think for the first full year, from January 2023 until January 2024, till the end of January. This council has moved forward on a lot of new projects. We've hired a lot of people and, I want to thank everybody for the effort that we put forth in this, to the town employees and everybody, but we have, you know, we have put a new treasurer in place. We've hired Emery Penner as a DPW. After our clerk resigned, we put another clerk into place. We've put a rec director in place of Sarah Kim Hemingway. We've hired Jeremy Hemingway for the streets department and Carter Edwards for the water department. He is now transferred over to the street department. We installed a new lift station on Myrtle Street. We completed the Spring Street Avenue water line project. We repaired potholes in town in the amount of $60,000. We purchased a new dump truck for the streets and water department. We purchased a new 1-ton flatbed truck with plow for the streets and water department. We purchased a new police vehicle and replaced the decals on several of the old ones. Completed, and this is really something, we completed the first major water well maintenance this year on all 5 wells, and this has never been done. This was the first one. We know what the wells are. We know what kind of shape the wells are in, and they come back very good. Basically, we have completed 3 major audits that we were behind with the town. The other one is right in final stage. I got a draft on it just recently. So we will be behind only one audit. And they're gonna go to work on that as soon as this one's done. We do have a pretty good account on the exact money the town has, and I'm really pleased with having that done. We engineered and completed the design on Never Forget Park and went to bid. We did refuse all bids and we should be going back out to bid on that. We backed away and went down in size and everything, so we should be going back out to bid, I think, within the next couple of weeks on that. We engineered and designed the continuation of the River Street project, and that has now been put out to bid. And in fact, they just had their pre-bid meeting last week. And we engineered and designed a $1.5 million street repair program, and that should go out to bid next week. And then we investigated the FEMA floodplain map and decided there was nothing we could really do there. And so the town is currently working on the Saratoga Alternative Master Plan and looking at possible ways to help the police department dispatch work more efficiently. The airport board, and we're working with them on their new master plan. And I don't know, this council has really come together, and I think we have made some accomplishments in the first year we've been here. And I'm very proud of that. So I just wanted to share that under council comments. Okay, we'll move on to reports from departments. County. Yes,
Can I get a copy of that?
yes, you may.
Okay.
Okay. We'll move on to, town hall. Yeah, what it is we have the Mountain States. That's who's doing our audit. His name is Tim Fixture. He was with a different firm and now he's out on his own. And we just kept him, doing our audits, and we have an invoice in the amount of $6,981. Is this the final payment? This will be the final payment to Tim. It's in your packet, but the chair would entertain a motion to go ahead and pay this final payment.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on to, that's all you have under town hall. We'll move on to the police department.
Mayor, council. Just to update everybody with a little bit of what's going on in the police department. Last 2 weeks, we have responded and taken care of 133 calls for service. We did get the bill from the sheriff's office in regards to our MOU for our dispatch services that they helped us with. That came in at $12,625. We'll have a full accounting next council meeting as to what during that time. You'll remember that I had kind of laid out what it was going to cost us during that time. I'll have a full accounting of that at the next council meeting, so you'll be able to see that. There is still discussion between the police department and Carbon County Sheriff's Office on the possibility of combining resources for dispatch services. I had a meeting with Sheriff Bachman on Friday. I had to cancel that meeting, unfortunately, and I'm scheduled to meet with him again this Thursday. There's a couple other possible alternatives that we can discuss about and kind of preliminarily right now, but I'll have a little bit more on the accounting next time. At the request of the mayor and council, we'll be preparing to have some public meetings, public comment periods, so we can get a feel for, number one, the public can understand where we're coming from. We can actually get their input as well. So that's kind of where we are with the dispatch scenario right now. I do have 2 officer candidates that are going through the process right now. One of them is an officer that is presently working for the Medicine Bow Marshal's office. As I think most people know, the Marshal's office or the town council in Medicine Bow had voted here not very long ago to dissolve their Marshal's office. It was a kind of an up and coming that I think we're about 3 years into that program right now, but they've made a decision to dissolve it. So the gentleman's name is Charles Mack Holt. He's an officer in good standing with the Medicine Bow Marshal's office at this point in time. Being able to hire somebody, if we decide to offer him the job, being able to hire somebody as a lateral in the state of Wyoming takes a lot of the expense. We don't have to go further with psychological evaluations, those types of things. So we're just still doing a little bit of background with Mr. Holt, but I certainly hope by the next council meeting to actually, if things go as they're going right now, to present his name to you for the possibility of hiring him as an officer. He's got a few years of experience, so that'd help us out greatly. We've also got a local gentleman, a young man that has showed an interest. We're going through that process with him right now. We've got the psychological, physical assessment and the medical, get him, see the doctor to make sure that we can get the physical from him. So again, if everything goes the way I hope that it does, maybe we can offer that gentleman's name up at the next council meeting as well. That'd sure help everybody out. We can get some more boots on the ground out on the street. We are starting the looking at Saratoga Days. Anybody that's been involved or gone to Saratoga Days every year, it's just got just a little bit bigger. I think that trend will continue this year. To an old guy like me, Lita Ford was a name. So, hopefully we'll wish them all the best. It was a very well done
event last year. I was very glad to play just a very small part of that. And I foresee good things during that time. Lieutenant Moore and I went to Cheyenne last month and did some training on what the acronym is NIBR, the National Incident Based Reporting System. It's actually a requirement that we report. We haven't been. It was a program that got stalled. I got a phone call from the director of DCI in December, said, "Hey, do you know you're not reporting?" And the answer was, "No, I don't. What can we do to get this going?" So we both, Lieutenant Moore and I, have attended the class. Lieutenant Moore's, we've got, there's some homework you got to do. He got his done. So we're actually in our reporting stage, but it's being monitored by DCI right now. So if we go through a period of time where we don't have any problems, we're properly reporting, we'll be on our own and we can and keep going with that. It's really important that we do that, not just at the local level, but the state level, because funding from the federal government actually is based on some of those statistics that they get from. So the state obviously is all over that. We got our FCC licensing for the radio towers kind of taken care of. We did our recipients of an SHSP grant, one of the reimbursable grants. Again, next meeting, I hope to present that to you. It's been off to Kylie, the town attorney. She wanted to make us aware of some things in the grant contract itself. So I'll research those a little bit and we'll be able to hopefully present that to you at the next meeting. Also, we've got outside of the project that we're doing with the STAMP project, there is the 2024 Safe Streets Grant Program is opening up. There's some deadlines in April. I'd kind of like to, with the permission of the council, to maybe go after enough money that maybe we could get some speed feedback signs. That's outside the scope of what we've talked about on Elm Street and 130. My thought would be county roads on east and west coming into Saratoga. We do have a lot of complaints in those areas about speeding. I happen to like the driver feedback signs, the flashy, you're going too fast. I think it's just a good reminder. So I'll be looking in, like I say, with the council's approval, I'll be looking at some grants there. The signs themselves, depending on which company you go with, are anywhere between about $3,000 and $6,000 a piece, depending on which little doodad you want to go with it. We don't have to worry about cameras or anything like that in the state of Wyoming. So we'll kind of at least investigate that to see where we could go. And really, I think that's all I've got, unless you've got something for me.
When is the grant application due, Mike?
The first one, there's 3 deadlines, April 5th. And then, I don't have a paper with me, but it's about 2 weeks apart in April. There's 3 deadlines. And I think the first one's April 4th or April 5th.
Do you need help writing grants?
I may.
Okay, give a holler if you want a
Okay.
proofreader or.
Absolutely. I find my time it gets shrunk. The clock gets smaller every year. So. All right.
One other thing, just to add, so people are aware that we're investigating this joint dispatch. The sheriff has visited several different places that already have joint dispatch. Mike has been in contact with chiefs and sheriffs also. So we're looking into this. I mean, it's just not gonna be a jump in the middle of something. We're looking at places that have done this and it works well. And that's what we're looking at. We want to make sure that we don't want to go in there halfway and then something not work out and we spend a bunch of money to get involved. We're doing research on it to make sure it's a fit for Saratoga. And then before you step down, I need a motion to pay this invoice, the MOU with the sheriff's office in the amount of $12,625.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll move on to the fire department. The only thing I got to report, I met with, Big James, pumper truck 13 is back and it's, ready and it's in service, so. That's a good thing to have back. All right, we'll move on to the rec board.
Good evening. A couple of things I need approval for, planning for the upcoming pool season. I sent my pool manager to get certified to teach swimming lessons. And so as it was discussed prior to my hiring, if that occurred, that person would go from $17 an hour to $18 an hour. And so we need approval to go ahead and make that adjustment to that salary.
Are we gonna continue to use Whisper then? Okay. Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve that?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to give our manager a raise, a pool manager a raise of $1 to $17 an hour.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Thank you. Along that same lines with staff, been working to look at some, I guess, tiered wages. And I think this was discussed in the past, but what I've come up with is a $12 for cashiers, which I'm sure they already get paid that amount. $13 for a returning lifeguard and $14 for a lifeguard, a returning lifeguard lead is what I would call that position. That person would have a little more responsibility and would be present anytime the pool manager is not there. So that was kind of what I had hoped to offer staff for the upcoming season.
that's what you're wanting to do
That's
now.
what I'm wanting to do for this.
Will your budget withstand it?
My budget will withstand it. I talked a lot with Whisper, talked a little bit with Emery about ways to keep it consistent and maybe get some experienced people back. And that was kind of what we brainstormed. So I'd like to maybe get that in place so I can start advertising for it immediately.
Any discussion?
No.
Could you say the rates again for me?
So $12 for a cashier, $13 for a lifeguard, and $14 for a lifeguard, a returning lifeguard lead is what I title it. It's really just an older person that's a little bit more responsible, that has a lifeguard certification, and that has maybe the responsibility of being there anytime the pool manager isn't there.
Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. A couple things you'll see in your packet on page 16 and 17. On page 17 are bids for teachers for the basketball season. We've got 118 kids playing basketball. And so there's a couple bids for t-shirts here. I'm doing it by color this year, so each team will have a color which they can also use as their practice jersey. It's a little higher than last. For flag football season, I used the Debbie Arnold. I maybe prefer using the Outhouse just so I can kind of, I don't know, in my opinion, kind of share the wealth, so to speak. But it's up to you, whichever one you prefer. For the bid, I'd like to get a motion on that tonight so I can order them tomorrow. So that I can get them out to the kids as soon as possible.
Do we have a standard design on those? Like is that?
Just something I kind of make up. It's not standard, it's different every year pretty much, so it's probably gonna have some kind of basketball. I think it's gonna be flat belly, youth basketball with maybe a fish or so, I don't know, I haven't plugged up that far yet, but no, it's not a standard design, but sometimes they do it for me because I don't have those skills, so it's something like that. And this, of course, is paid with their.
So we have the quotes.
With their registration fee is how that gets paid for.
Yeah.
Did you see the quotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say go ahead and go with whatever you prefer of the two, and it's part of the registration
It's
fee.
part of
It's
the.
covered in that,
So it doesn't come out of my
nothing out of your budget, so,
per se.
um, I'd make the motion, to approve T-shirt purchases
Okay.
for the,
I mean, it's not a huge difference. I was just thinking of.
yeah,
Yeah, do one this year and
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Maybe for
fit it around.
this, then basketball, I do this, and soccer, I go to the,
It's the fairest way to do it.
try to make it a little fair, so.
I'll finish. I'll make the motion to go ahead, approve the purchase of the T-shirts for the youth basketball.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Lastly, on page 18, I just stuck an invitation in here, for our movie event. This was something that the rec board, decided would be kind of a late in the winter, early spring, movie night. It's a free event. It's hosted over at the auditorium at the Platte Valley Community Center. It starts Friday night, doors open at 5:30. The movie kicks off at 6. It's a compilation of about 10 short films, with sort of the theme of outdoor adventure, community, those type of themes. And so it's about an hour and then intermission 15 minutes and then about another 45 minutes afterwards. So if you share the word or come on out, come on over for Friday movie night.
I have a couple of comments. One, do you still need coaches for basketball? Referees,
I'm
volunteers?
Still short about 4 to 5 assistant coaches maybe trying to fill. Other than that, I think I have enough coaches.
Okay, so if anybody's interested in volunteering, they can get in touch with you.
Oh, they can.
Just to help out,
Sport
right.
workers, we need assistant coaches, we need people that herd kids.
Yeah.
We need warm bodies, yes, we definitely need anyone want to volunteer, we need community service or need volunteer times as a high school kid, or we need reps, yes, we still definitely need
Yeah.
volunteers.
Okay.
And then I was just gonna read the little blurb about the mountain film thing. If you haven't heard about it, I'll just read a quick. Founded in 1979, Mountain Film is one of America's longest running film festivals. The annual festival is held every Memorial Day weekend in Telluride, Colorado. Mountain Film is a dynamic nonprofit organization and festival that celebrates stories of indomitable spirits and aims to inspire audiences through film, art, and ideas. It's really a cool program. So come out, family friendly, free. The town and the rec department and community center are sponsoring this. Your donations are welcome if you'd like to help out. But this is a new thing that we've done in Saratoga. So I would encourage everybody to come out Friday. Thanks, Kim.
Says the doors open at 5:45.
Mhm.
So. Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Kim.
Thanks.
You posted these around town and thank you. Okay. Anything else on the rec department? Okay, we'll move on to Department of Public Works.
Go down the list here, starting at item 18. This is a press release that was put out some time ago about us being in the top 5 in the National Water Taste Contest. Chuck and Brandon were able to go back there and participate in that annual meeting and have our water there involved in that taste test, and we did make the top 5. So that was pretty cool. One of the big takeaways that I like from that happening is we don't have to do a lot to that water. Like, it comes out of the ground, it's affordable, we don't have to dump a bunch of chemicals in it. That's a pretty big blessing and asset that this community has. I know there's varied opinions on it, but overall at a national level, we have a good asset to work with. Any questions on that? Okay, right there.
Oh, that's great.
And number 19, this is so that grant that I went over to Cheyenne and met with the SLID board about back in November for the water project out here. This is just the actual formal agreement between us and the town. It's almost exactly the same as the one we signed, the $900,000 one that we got the week before. It just, all of their stuff goes through the AG's office now. It just had some lag time on getting over to us. We just need approval for, that was for $700,000, and it's a reimbursement grant. So we'll do the project. Once it's complete, we'll submit it and then we'll get payment funds.
Cool. Do we need to take any action on this?
Just need to approve the grant agreement so you can sign it.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the ARPA grant.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, number 20. So I attached in the packet a cover letter and then a resolution for a level 2 feasibility study. Part of getting this water tank taken down that was worn out is obviously getting a new one. And with the cost of that project, the best way for us to go about it is to work through these feasibility studies with the Wyoming Water Development Commission, try and capitalize on their findings and hopefully lead us into a project that we can get some help with building. So in the level 1 study, this was identified as a improvement we could make, putting another tank somewhere. The level 2 will look at, okay, if we put it here, what's the modeling look like? If we put it here, what's it look like? What's the engineering look like? What's the cost look like? And then from there, hopefully we can go into a level 3, which will include design and construction. We've got to go through this process. So I did submit the application, but we got to pass the resolution. I got to send that in at some point as well as part of the application packet.
You want to have Karina read this resolution?
If you want, yeah, if you want.
We probably should. I'll give the clerk a break on this one.
Saratoga Resolution Number 2024-01. A resolution in support of filing an application to the Wyoming Water Development Commission for a level 2 feasibility study evaluating the town's water system, including treated water storage facilities, furthermore establishing purpose and need for funding for future improvements to the water system. Whereas the governing body of the town of Saratoga supports filing an application to the Wyoming Water Development Commission for a level 2 feasibility study of the town's public water supply, including its treated water storage facilities. Whereas has been determined that it is beneficial for the town of Saratoga to seek funding from the Wyoming Water Development Commission to evaluate current conditions of the town's water supply system and treated water storage facilities. This study can be used to plan system improvements, implement system modifications, and establish the purpose and need for funding for future improvements to the system. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing body of the town of Saratoga, Wyoming, that an application be submitted to the Wyoming Water Development Commission for a level 2 feasibility study of the town's water system and treated water storage facilities. Passed, approved, and adopted this March 5th, 2024.
Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve this resolution, pass this resolution?
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Karina.
You're welcome.
And number 21, this is another invoice from OB Consulting on the stamp project for the planning and zoning. This will kind of get us caught up. We kind of had a lag time for when we started the project. We had that chunk of invoices at a prior meeting, and then this one will kind of catch us up on the timeline. And we get this one paid and then probably wrap up reimbursement requests here in the next few days and get them over to YDOT, get us paid back. Any questions on that one?
No.
Do I have a motion to go ahead and pay this invoice in the amount of $24,510.72.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Right.
Okay.
On that number 22, we kind of had a discussion this last fall, this winter about the wading pool, the condition it's in. We had it looked at. It's a lot of money to fix it. We kind of decided that wasn't feasible. We got to do something with it. Can't just leave it there. So there's some money in the special purpose tax for some deck repair. And so, B&H is in town. They're a big concrete company. I've heard very good things about them from other people who work with them. And so we took them over there and said, hey, could you guys get this done? And they said, yeah, we could get it done probably here by the first week in April. And this is the price that they gave us to do it. That's very fair,
Yeah.
compared to, just even what smaller concrete projects are coming in at and stuff. And the fact that they can get in and get it done well before we schedule to open a pool would be very nice.
It's on page 51. So those little patches, you saw the patches and things that were in there before, so it's not gonna interfere with any of the fixes that they did in the
No, we'll-
drainage or any of
We'll
that.
come up to where all that was done
Okay.
before. We'll leave it. And they were the ones who did that.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay. And they haul off all of the demo.
Yeah.
That's not bad. How are they gonna access when we figure out a way to get in from
Yeah. So on the
north side?
east side of the fence, there's kind of where the walkway is right there.
Yeah.
Equipment wise, we'll build a ramp right there and they'll hop up on there and then they can back the truck up right there.
Peel the fence back?
Yeah.
You wanna put in a gate while you're at it, that'd be great. That's fair. It'll be taken care of right before season begins. That'd be nice.
Demo on it here, like next few days, next week, and then as soon as we
I-
run a warm weather or
This has basically been discussed, approved to go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
I say that's a pretty good bid. $36,550. The way bids have been coming in, this is an exceptional bid. I believe Emery estimated this at one of the meetings that probably cost us 50 to 60,000.
that's what I was expecting.
That was kind of what we had figured, so it's come in well below that, so.
And you exhausted the options on fixing, repairing, putting anything else in, so it makes sense for us to take care of it. We'll use that area for tables and shade and. And I think Kim's already considering that. We'll talk about that, so I'd make the motion to go ahead with this work on the baby pool.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
And then one other thing that we we'll be coming up, we're working on a few mosquito grants to get those things turned in. And then we'll be advertising here shortly for the mowing again. And probably as well as for some seasonal guys to do some logging and some weed eating down the road. So that'll be coming up. And then we also filled out some paperwork to get on the IUP with the state for some clean SRF money, clean water SRF money for the sewer system. So hopefully we can use some special purpose tax project money, kind of couple and capitalize on that and get some sewer, get on the docket to get some money for some sewer projects here next year. So kind of double down where we can. And they changed things up a little bit this year, but we got that in. So hopefully we'll end up on the IUP.
But we want to keep moving forward. Okay, do you have anything else on Department of Public Works? You want to move on to the Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board?
Yep. So the last meeting, big chunk of that kind of was right before we started or getting ready to advertise for the River Street project. So we went over that. Then they were still working on their ordinances. We had some discussion about a little bit about those, brought up the bylaws. That was kind of the majority of that meeting. Nothing, we'll continue to work on the ordinances. That's going to be it's just a long process that we got some guys over there spending a lot of time on it. So when the time comes, that'll probably just come down the pipe in one big chunk. We're not going to pass one ordinance amending this section and then that section, we get everything done and bring it in and ready to go in one big chunk for things to look at. Go from there.
Okay. That's all on water sewer. What about planning commission, sir?
So the last meeting, we sat down and started going through Title 17 of the subdivision ordinance. And a lot of that, I mean, we started right at the beginning. It went really well. There was a lot of discussion about big things, small things. The group worked together very well, clarifying stuff. We just put it up on the screen. Any edits we made went in red, and we'll keep plugging away. Everybody had good input. I was super happy with how that went. I think,
Yes, it went very well.
I think at the end of it, we'll end up with a little more clarified thing to work with. Like I said, in the, I think it ended up in the paper, it's all the nuts and bolts are there. It's just up. They don't, totally reinventing the wheel. But there's times when people have come in where there's conversations we have to have about interpretation that I would assume we'd rather not have.
Well, it leads to expenses with the attorney sometimes, not always, but sometimes, so. They do need to be cleaned up. They really do. Some of them's never been touched since they were adopted, I'm sure. No.
Yeah, the board worked really well. We had some talk about, Airbnbs again. One member of the public came in and brought that up. That was a good conversation, handled well by the commission. It's pretty good. This is a good meeting.
We'll, as far as I'm concerned, we'll see what the commission has to say on that, but I would still recommend we follow the advice of our attorney and before we make any moves on this. So we'll see where the commission goes with it. That's how, that was my feelings. I shared that night. So.
And then we also, here, when the opportunity comes up, we've been continuing to have conversations about work for housing opportunities. If there's any places we can capitalize and try to help the town in some fashion of making things more available housing wise, it's still, but options are pretty limited. That conversation continues as well.
Anything else?
No, and we'll middle of April, next public meeting for the stamp. Probably looking like that, tentatively that 16th, 17th, 18th window in there. Exactly, we know. We'll let you guys know on that, but we're gonna do mailers again, I believe, to everybody. That worked really well.
Good.
And this one, they're gonna bring some designs for us to look at, estimated costs. So,
And we did have a meeting last week, just some preliminary of kind of where they're at on some of those things. Nobody has any questions? I'll scamper out of here.
Thank you, Henry. Okay. Looks like we need to move into the Community Center Joint Powers Board.
I have nothing to report. Our next meeting is March 11th. Is coming Monday, 4:30 at the community center. I would like to make a plug for, there's a volunteer committee that put together in conjunction with, we're using community center, to put together a murder mystery evening. So if you're interested, it's a family friendly thing. All proceeds go to Valley Village Child Care. And then we're getting help from some of the high school kids. There'll be babysitting available. So if you want to come out, the tickets are still on sale. So check out Facebook or get my number off of the town hall website and you can call me and I'll get you more info.
When is that, Kat?
That is March 16th. We're hiring a group of people to come in from Denver. So they come in and they host it and they've got a plot and they've got all kinds of series of clues and things. And so it's the first time we've ever done anything like this, as far as I know, that's hosted by professionals. So March 16th, 5:30 to 9 at the community center.
All right, well, thank you for that. And we'll move right on to the Recreation Commission. And these letters were all sent to me. We do not have a full board right now. In fact, they don't even have
Wow.
a quorum. So we have 3 letters of interest. Casey Jones showed a letter of interest, and I'm not gonna read each letter. Patrick Donahue and a Sarah Watt. Which she would probably qualify for the out of town person. She lives in Encampment. I met Patrick last night. He's lived in the Valley for 7 years now. He has 2 children, from my understanding, and he just wants to become involved in something with the community. And he thought that the rec board would be where he wanted to start. And probably the majority of the council and the people in town know who Casey Jones is. And, you know, I think he's back to teaching now again. Isn't he?
I'm not sure what he's doing.
Maybe just substituting. Anyway, we have the letters if anybody's interested in reading them. I would like to move forward and appoint these people tonight. So we can get the Recreation Commission back on target so they can help with the rec department and our rec director and keep moving forward in that direction.
Shouldn't they have come in and read their letter?
Pardon?
Shouldn't they have come in and read their letter?
Well, they were invited, 2 of them had to work, and did Casey ever respond back to you? The other 2 responded to me, and both of them had to work. We can read their letters.
I'll read them. I'll read them.
We can read their letters. Are they in the packet?
Yeah, they're right here.
Okay, go for
To
it.
whom it may concern, I'm writing to express my interest in joining the Recreation Board in Saratoga. I understand there are a couple of openings for this board, and I was approached by a few citizens to fill one of the openings. I'd be happy to fill a position and sit for the remainder of a term or a full new term, whatever is most convenient for the group. I grew up in Saratoga, and I'm now back to finishing raising my kids here in this great community. I think my familiarity with Saratoga and the people here, along with my life experiences and coaching and leadership, would help add a good voice to the rec board. Thank you for your consideration. Please get in touch with me if you have any questions or concerns. Casey Jones. And all these folks have talked to Kim personally too, I think, maybe apart from Sarah, right? Yeah. This year I will celebrate having moved to the Valley 7 years ago. Some of the things that brought me here are the things that I believe the Rec Commission Board stands for: physical and mental well-being of members of the community through outdoor activity. I love living in Saratoga and want to share the beauty that surrounds us with others, encourage the community to seek opportunities to engage and participate within the recreation that abounds us, whether it's hiking, snowshoeing, fishing, hot pools, basketball, or volleyball leagues. We have 3 girls that have all been in the sports offered in the Valley and want to make those opportunities better for them. I want to continue to spread the word of all the activities that our Valley has to offer. I would love the opportunity to engage in the community more by serving on the Recreation Commission Board. That's from Patrick Donahue. And then my name is Sarah Watch. I am writing to express my interest in joining the Recreation Commission. I moved to the Platte Valley in May 2020, intending to stay for a summer, but fell in love with the Valley and the town. And so I am still here after almost 4 years later. I would love to be part of a group that works to support the greater community that has become my home. I have 10+ years of professional experience organizing educational, safe, and fun programs, activities for children, including grant-funded programs. I worked with the USDA, EPA, and UN to develop and deliver curriculum for both children and adults. I love meeting people and getting outdoors and love sharing those passions with others. I feel I could be a supportive member of the group, as well as learn a lot about how to serve our community. As of March 15th, I will be living in Encampment. I believe there are out-of-town spots. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to join the commission. I would really love to be part of a group that does such great things for the Valley. All the best, Sarah Watch. I'll make a motion to approve all 3 here.
Okay, we have a motion on the table, a little bit of discussion on that. They'll set up their own so everybody doesn't come on all at once. It's not been kept well track of, you know, we run into this. So they will stagger theirs. Some may come on as 2 years, some may only come on as one, you know, but they will stagger their own. That's what was kicked around at a roundtable discussion they had last night on the rec commission. It was just, no action was taken. It was just discussion. So,
And how are they gonna decide that?
it'll be
We'll
voted on
reconsider
amongst them.
The terms. And then I think it should just be appointed as we receive the letters and stagger it. We've kind of got full positions we've got 5 spots open right now. So we're just gonna look at when people resigned and the first that need to be filled so that there's an overlap. So I think we'll kind of go back to the commission at the next meeting and talk about what makes the most sense for who applied first and what positions and what's.
Who applied first goes to who quit first.
Yeah. And then they'll bring that recommendation back to us and we'll
Yeah.
vote on it. We'll do it.
Correct way to do it.
But they'll, you know, now that they have a quorum, they'll be able to elect their officers because they don't have it. I think there's one that's
The
the secretary.
but our vice and president.
So, so we'll kind of let them set their stand, but I explained that in the roundtable discussion that there's been mix up. Some people had some hard feelings on it. And so we're gonna start tracking it through the town. So we know that when somebody does, we can tell them, okay, you're on for 2 years and a month. And then, you know, and they can reapply after that.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
Nope.
Do I have a second to Kathy's motion to appoint these 3 people to the rec commission?
I'll make a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And then now it's you. Do you have anything else on the rec commission?
No. No, I don't have anything. We have still been meeting even after our resignations, sort of discussing what the plan is. So now that we've got enough people of quorum to meet, we'll continue to set our goals and expectations for this year and discuss ways to improve processes and things like that. So next rec meeting is April 1st. No kidding. At 6 o'clock here at Town Hall. That's it.
Thank you. The Saratoga Airport Advisory Board, we don't have a report prepared for tonight from their last meeting, so we won't go into that. Their next meeting is March 11th at 3:30 PM at the Town Hall. I did not receive any information from Schwim. So, and their next meeting is March 18th at 6 PM and it doesn't say where. So I don't know what community.
Because they've swapped. So
Right,
I reached out to.
Yeah, we have had no correspondence from them, so. That takes care of that. Is there any new business that needs to be brought before the town?
I accidentally walked over.
Oh. Okay, and that invoice was in the amount of 13,000 and something. Looked at it today.
33,686. I'll make a motion to pay this invoice for Saratoga Carbon County. Let's see, who's this to?
I'll second
It's
it.
reimbursable, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
Thank you for catching that.
yeah, thank you, Bree. Opposed? Motion carried. There's no further business. Do I have a motion to adjourn this council meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?